Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tally Faye. We're ready to get working on these barbecue cups. So I wanted to get, I've got my meat starting to brown over here, 1 pound of ground meat. And I'm going to do 1 onion, and I've got a little bell pepper I had in the freezer and a jalapeno I had in the freezer. Now, you know, if you're making these for your kids and stuff, and again, I say, if you don't like onion or you don't like bell pepper, or, you know, if you don't want jalapeno in there for the kids, I mean, this is for Buzz and I, so we like things spicy, right? So, I'm going to put this in there and brown it with my meat. But, you know, if you don't want to put that in there and you just want to brown your meat and you're going to add your barbecue sauce in there and some salt and pepper and things like that, just do that, you know, because you're going to top it with your cheese. Look here. I grated 2 different kind of cheeses. I have a cheddar cheese to top it with, and then I had a girlfriend of mine gave me this block of smoked pepper jack. I don't buy crazy kind of cheeses. I only, you know, I'm really basic. You know, cheddar, American cheese, whatever, Velveeta cheese, that kind of thing. But anyway, I thought maybe I'd try this smoked jalapeno. No, is it pepper jack? Smoked pepper jack cheese on some of them, and then do the cheddar on some of the other ones. You got to dig in your refrigerator and find some of that stuff and be creative with it, you know. I mean, that's like this bell pepper and jalapeno and stuff. I even got some crushed red pepper flakes I'm going to put in ours. So, but first thing I'm going to do, I'm browning my meat. I've got my oven heating on 375, and I am fixing to chop up this onion. Oh, let me get it down here where you can see what I'm doing. I have this nifty little gadget, little hand gadget that I love so much. It's not an electric one, excuse me, and I don't need an electric one. This thing is perfect for what I need. So I'm going to put this onion in there, and I'm going to put my bell pepper in there. Now this bell pepper is still almost frozen solid. Y'all, this is ones that I had from the garden last year, and at the end of the season, when I don't have anything else that I'm doing with my vegetables like that, I'm going to take these seeds out because I'm going to be putting that crushed red pepper in there. But anyway, when I don't have anything left to do, in particular with my vegetables from the garden, I will just take like these bell peppers and these jalapenos and stuff, and I'll just throw them in a Ziploc baggie and freeze them whole. And all I have to do is get out X number of them. Let me show you. Where's my bag at? I've been working on this bag for a while, and seeing it's got all different sizes of them in there and everything, but they're just frozen separately, and I can just reach in there and get out what I want, and I'll just run it under the water for a second, and it thaws it perfect right then and there. And they're great for cooking with like that. I mean, they're great for cooking. They're going to be for cooking. You don't want to try to eat them like you would a fresh piece of bell pepper or jalapeno, but for cooking, you can't go wrong with that. So if you have been to the store and you have extra leftover ones and stuff, just throw them in that bag just like they are in a Ziploc baggie and freeze them, and you can get them out of there. So see, I'm just going to cut this up, throw this all in here, a bell pepper, an onion, a jalapeno, put my little thing on here real quick. Can you see what I'm doing? Yep. Lock it in. I'm just going to crank it up. I have chopped onion and bell pepper and jalapeno. If I can get it undone. Oh, turn it the right way, right? Let's see. Just like that. I have it all chopped beautifully. See? So now I'm just going to rake that over here in my meat while it's browning. Now this hamburger meat that I have has just the perfect amount of fat in it, in that I don't have to drain it. It doesn't have, it's got enough fat in it to brown it, but it doesn't have a whole bunch in there, in that, you know, you've got floating grease in there and stuff, because if that's the case, if your hamburger meat is like that, I would brown my meat first, pretty much, get it almost brown, cook the fat out of it, and then put it back in your skillet, and then throw your onions and peppers and stuff in there, or whatever you decided to brown with it. But we're going to get that going. Can you see what I'm always having to check myself. All right, I'm gonna get this cooking. Move my little pot. Y'all, I just love this old coffee pot. Y'all remember these? I love this thing. I make tea in it. That's what I do. I make tea in it and stuff. But believe you me, there's been a time or few when the electricity was off and I need to make coffee. It makes a cup of coffee, buddy. You better watch how much you put in there, though, because it's going to make it stout. It'll put some hair on your chest, I'm telling you. But it's some good coffee. But anyway, it makes tea. That's what I use it for, is brewing tea when I have people over or whatever. I love this old pot. Move it out of the way. Okay, I like to use my whisk to kind of chop my meat up where I don't have all them little chunks of it in there. This chops it up nicely. So we are going to let that sit there and be browning while I do this. Now, here's the thing I wanted to show you. Okay, like these recipes, if you go on the internet and stuff and look for them and everything, you can use canned biscuits, you can use crescent rolls, and all those things. You can use those. But what if you wanted to make these and you needed the crust? Well, guess what I have? I have, from the other day when I made my 3-pie pie crust, I have one of my pie crust left in the refrigerator. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take it and roll it out here. And I'm going to roll it out real thin. And I have my muffin tins sprayed and ready. And I'm going to set my little pie crust down in there. And I'm going to use my pie crust to make these barbecue cups with. If you don't have that stuff, find the crust recipe and you'll see you can make these beautifully. And it's homemade. You know how to make pie crust. Okay. Alright, I'm getting my meat brown. I'm going to get my pie crust out of here. See, I have one big thing of it left in this Ziploc baggie. Perfect. So I'm going to get me some flour. My meat's browning, so we don't have to look at that right now. Get me some flour and put out here. And like I say, you know, if you're a busy mom and stuff or whatever, and you have, again, you have those things on hand, they're nice to have. But, you know, sometimes you just don't have them, and then you're wondering, you know, how could I do that? And that's the thing. You need to know how to make it when you need to. So this pie crust is just as wonderful as it was the other day. It's awesome. I've made I made a chocolate meringue pie, a lemon meringue pie, and now I'm going to make barbecue cups out of that one pie crust recipe that I stirred up in the mixer. I didn't even have to put my hands in it. I mean, it was that easy. So you go to that homemade pie crust recipe video and you'll see it. Now here we go. I'm going to roll this out. I'm going to roll it out really, really thin. And be easy with it. You don't have to, you know, press down real hard and stuff. Just kind of just roll it out easy. And you'll be able to tell. You can kind of start seeing through it. If I need one of those little, those big plastic or rubber pastry sheets or whatever it's called. I don't have one of those. But you can see better. Because my old board here is the same color or whatever, but it works perfect for me. So, and I'm going to I have one of these, see, it's one of those cutters for making pies and stuff with or whatever, but it's the perfect size, I think. I'm going to try cutting them out and see if they will go down inside that muffin cup perfectly. Because I want to try to get 12 out of this pie crust if I can. we'll see what I end up with. Okay, I've got my little circles cut out. Let's see. Let me check my meat real quick. Looking good. Smelling good too with all that going on in there. A few more little pieces I want chopped up. Tell you what I'm going to do though, while I've got this going, I'm going to go ahead and in mine I have garlic powder, black pepper, salt, paprika, and some crushed red pepper that I'm going to put in mine. So you have to kind of figure out what you want to, how you want to spice yours up, right? But it's a basic, you know, it's a basic skillet of hamburger fried up with all the goodies in it and everything. The main thing is at the end you're going to put your barbecue sauce in it. So I've got garlic powder in there and now some black pepper. Do me some salt. A little paprika. More is better, people. Maybe not on this crushed red pepper. You might be a little bit careful with that. Don't want to stump your toe on that. But I'll have Buzz. He'll let me know that I spiced it up with that crushed red pepper. Guarantee it'll be good though. Have lots of flavor. Oh yeah. Oops. Okay. And let that be browning on. Alright. Let's see what these little circles are going to do here. I rolled it out thin, so I'm going to get me a spatula and pick them up where I can handle them. Get them in there and press them down in it. Really, I'm just kind of setting them down in there. Press them around on the sides a little bit. You see what I'm doing? I'll make sure. See how they're doing in there? Okay. This size could be, from this cutter that I've used, that could be a little bit larger in diameter, but it's not hurting nothing. I mean, they're still making a perfect little old cup down in there. I'm going to fill them boogers up with meat and top them off with that cheese. And them things will be good. Looky there. I'm definitely going to have plenty to make this dozen pan here. That's going to be good. All right. Now that one's got a crack in it, but we'll just press him down in there. Matter of fact, I'm going to take me a little piece of dough and just kind of build it a little bit. Do it like that. Okay. Get me some more out of here. And I still have plenty on this crust. I'll be figuring out something else to make with it. I might take what I have left and get me another little muffin pan out or something and press this crust down in there and drop me some either apricot preserves or something down in there. Like take this crust and put it down in there a little bit and put me some and press it out a little just with my fingers, and say I put me a little spoon of some type of preserves in there. You could do strawberry, but you know, I've always got apricot. Like I say, I like the apricot, and of course peach. And put you a spoon of that in there, and then get you some leftover cream cheese that you have or whatever and stuff, and just pinch off a little blob and drop you a little blob of cream cheese on there, and sprinkle a little sugar just on top of it real lightly, like, and a little cinnamon or something. Put that booger in the oven and bake it. And see if they don't like that. I know they would. Alright, there's 3 more. We're fixing to have our cups filled. Because Buzz and I certainly don't need more than a dozen barbecue cups. I rolled this one out not quite as thin as the first little part, and I think I like that a little bit better. Not quite as thin as I did that other one. It's a little more manageable by not rolling it out so as thin as I did on the first round. But you could probably just take this and just press it in there if you wanted to. But just here, I'm gonna roll this one out. I got one left. Do it like that, cutting. We are done with that. We have our dough and our muffin cups. We are now ready and waiting for our meat, which is almost ready. I hear it popping over there. I have my cheese grated and ready, and look at that. See, that's how much dough I have left. So I could make a good little, probably one of them little six-pack pans of muffin tins. And like I say, make some kind of little sweetie out of that. I'll do that a little later on in the week. Whoop that out one evening real quick just for a sweetie, see. This meat, ooh, that smells good with all them peppers and onions and everything in it. Brown just a tad more. I like it brown. I don't want it just steamed like. I like for my meat to have some brown on there. But I've always been that way about that, like on a meatloaf, you know. Like, I'm always the person that wants, I want the end of the meatloaf where it's burned a little bit on there and stuff. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to move it. Oh, and I get to show you the cornbread. As soon as we get these in the oven, I will show you the cornbread. And then I can start working on getting the cookies rolled out. I think I'm going to do the cookies in a separate video, though, and get them baked. Because it's going to take time. I have to separate them up, I guess, my videos, until I learn how to merge them or whatever. I have to do them in little separate videos for y'all, but we'll get there on it. Y'all know how to navigate these things more than I do, obviously. I'm doing good just to do this. But that's all right. I'm getting there. Moving into the modern day age of all this stuff. I'm getting there, y'all. Okay. Let me see this. I'm going to take this now. Get that off of there. Now, let me show you. See? It's all browned up and ready now. Now we're just going to add us some barbecue sauce to it. And I guess you would use, you know, whatever flavor of barbecue sauce you prefer. You know, do y'all have a favorite of the bottled barbecue sauces? I don't know that I have a favorite. This is just basic Kraft Original barbecue sauce. But I guess you can use whatever you want on it. So I'm just going to pour some on there. I don't want to get too much. We can add more if we want to. Remember, you can't take it out. So, I think you just want to get enough in there until it's, I'm going to call it spoonable out of there, you know. In a way, to me, this is kind of like Sloppy Joe almost. Kind of, sort of. Okay. That's pretty good. I think I want a little bit more. We're going to go for a little bit more in here. Okay, that ought to do it. Let's see where we're at on that now. Oh, yeah. Now we're saucing. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to turn that off. We are going to get this stirred a little bit more. And I'm going to bring my cups over here. See if I can set them down. Hold on just a second. Let me set y'all down here a second. Oop, bad videoing. Hold on. Now I got it. Okay, so see, I got my cups sitting here ready, and there's my meat. So we are going to, I think I want to just try like an ice cream scoop, right? We'll just scoop it up like this. I'm going to just dump it in there like that, I guess. What do you think? This ought to be good, y'all. My cousin makes these for their camping trips. They get them made up. Actually, I think it's her husband makes these things. But they make them up ahead of time and take them with them on their camping trips, and they're able just to heat them up. And she said they were delicious, just heated right back up. So, you know, you could probably make these things ahead of time if you wanted to. You know, when you had more time or something, which they're not time consuming, obviously. But look at that, y'all. I'm getting excited. It sure smells good, too. Let's load these boogers up, and we're fixing to top them with some cheese. I am excited. Oh, looky there. It's like 1 pound of hamburger meat made a dozen. That'll give you an idea on that, see? 1 pound of hamburger meat made a dozen of them. Perfect. I like that. Okay. Now, let me get this. I'm going to carry it with my hands right over here. And we are fixing to get our cheese and stuff. Let me try to put this back on here now instead of handling it. Do it like this. Okay, there they are now. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to trade them out. I'm going to do 6 of them with the grated cheddar. I probably have way too much grated. I always do that, you know, more is better, right, or whatever. So I'm probably putting too much on them. I don't know. Is there ever too much cheese? I don't know about that. And that's another thing, you know, believe it or not, there are people out there that don't like cheese. And if you don't want cheese on them, don't put it on there. Just bake them. Just bake them like that. Oh, that worked out perfect, actually, on that. Let's see how we do with the smoked pepper jack now. You can't hardly see that in this white light. All right, we're going to do this. I think I'm okay on the video and part of it, where y'all can see what I'm doing. Looky there. We're going to make this work. Oh, I love it when it pans out like that. Perfect. This one just might have a little bit of smoked pepper jack and cheddar in it. How's that? Don't be scared. Looky there. Vada boom, vada bang, huh? Let me get this over here. Okay, now I'm going to set them in the oven and we're going to let them bake. I will see how long that takes for these to bake. I didn't see on there where it said how long or whatever, but we know we're going to let that cheese melt and brown on there, you know, and everything and stuff, and probably by the time that gets good and melted and browned in there, I mean, your little pastry part should be done in there. So, hopefully we can get them out of the cups without tearing them up or whatever, but either way, we'll find that out too, right? So, I'm going to let these bake, and we will come back, and the very last thing we have to do is bake our cookies, our cream cheese cookies, and then we will present our meal for the evening. Well, be back in a little bit, y'all.